So this is an actual quote from one of my seminars. Microsoft Copilot made me cry. So I apologize to anybody in the room from Microsoft, but this was actually a comment from a senior sales leader within a large organization that had just given their entire team access to Microsoft Copilot Pro, plus they have access to Gemini. And the message from senior operations was, you now all have AI, you're accountable to use it effectively, go. That was their training. That was their AI enablement. And of course, this person sat down, pretty excited about it, got a really good output, and then she went to repeat it, and what do you think happened? Different output. Went to do it again. It broke, right? And next thing you know, it's hours trying to get this thing just to do a task. And it was super frustrating. But part of it was the expectation around what the tool actually does and how it works. And so for me, the reason why is a lot of people approach AI with a tool user mindset. So they seek predictable, repeatable outcomes, right? They think about it more like, Excel or a CRM. In Excel, if I want to summarize that column, it's going to do the same thing every time. But with AI, when I throw a challenge to it or ask it a question, even if I ask the exact same question, it might be slightly different, even based upon memory and the number of tokens it uses and what other context I give it. Typical tool user mindset is we get frustrated when the output varies. And if we do, it's going to be really hard to use and partner with these tools. They see pilots as a pass-fail instead of a learning opportunity. I think this is one of the key pieces, is that they really don't see them as a learning opportunity. They approach AI like Excel or a CRM, like I said, and they look for plug-and-play solutions. I just want a thing that does this for me. Where do I buy it? Right? And then gives up quickly when the results vary. This is not working. And I can imagine just the number of people that I've talked to that they've started to use AI, they got frustrated, and to a large degree they abandoned it for many of their processes, and they've gone back to what they were doing before from a human or analog perspective. So the AI mindset, the one that we need to have and the one we need to teach our clients to have in order to really prosper, embraces ambiguity and variation in outputs. They realize that AI is more about an iteration and a conversation, and that it isn't a press the autopilot button and walk away. It's actually human guardrails are an important element, human interaction to sharpen and keep it on track. At least it is right now. Maybe 3 years from now we'll have a different conversation. Iterates through prompting, feedback, and collaboration. This is the AI mindset. Acts as a creative director, not a passive consumer. We've all heard the different analogies, but for me the analogy is you have a Mensa smart level teenager who's read every book on the topic you want help with. But if you just leave them to themselves, they're going to take the quickest, shortest route to get the task done, and maybe not put the energy in, even though they're capable. And that for me is many of the language models, is we need to stay on top of them and curate them and collaborate with them, make sure they stay sharp. Leadership acts as an architect building systems, not buying tools. So that leadership team that just says, here's your AI systems, use them, they really didn't do their organization any service. They have 300 offices around the world, and I won't tell you what company it was. But when we look at this, a big part of it is, they hadn't built the context layer, the SOPs, the processes, all the things that take all their institutional knowledge and actually drive really awesome results using AI. They really missed the boat. They left it up to people like some salesperson to figure out all of that to get the most out of a multi-million-dollar platform, which is really not the right approach. Seeks partnership over perfection with AI tools, accepts that AI is probabilistic, not deterministic, and encourages experimentation, creativity, and failure. Right? It's okay that I used AI and it didn't quite work out. Right? Within reason. Hopefully I didn't automatically email 20,000 clients with the wrong message. There's some guardrails and some governance that needs to be there.